handmade. You know, it's interesting to see, you know, what people can do with their hands. I mean, it's just, it'll blow your mind. I mean, there's a guy out there that's carving pencil lead, the end of a number 2 pencil. I mean, he can put a little bitty chain link or a little a bust, you know, a statue, a little bitty tiny statue on the end of a pencil lead. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, what people can do, you know. And sometimes I feel like I haven't, you know, pushed myself to the limit. You know, I want to do everything, but a lot of times, you know, I come to the realization that my desire to actually produce the level of artwork that I want to, my desire is actually greater and larger than my natural God-given talent. And that being said, people like me actually, you know, we have to really, really work for it and really strive for that extra bit of excellence. You know, we don't just pick up an airbrush and just start going at it and you know, produce something like, you know, Mike Lavelli or whatever. You know what I mean? I know a guy that he is just absolutely phenomenal with the airbrush. I mean, it came so naturally to him, you know, and he's actually quite a bit younger than me, and he just blows my mind and teaches me things. You know, I'm 30 years old, and this guy is in his early 20s, and he just been doing just a little bit longer than me, and you know, it is just amazing what he can do. And every time I look at Drew Blair, it just blows my mind. But anyway, before this gets to be too much of a ramble, I wanted to see what people thought. You know, I wanted initially to make a video about how I do my reductive painting techniques, you know, with these little erasers right here. Those on clearance. One of them is for ink, one of them is for pencil. You know, one of them's a little more aggressive than the other. I use those. Those Hobby Lobby, you know, 95 cents. I bought a whole bunch of them. Stuff like that. You know, your typical X-Acto knife. Even these little cheap ass Q-tips. You can take, you know, whatever substance you like. You know, I got a little mixture of pre-cleaner and water and a little bit of alcohol, and it, you know, just kind of by accident, just playing around with it, and really come up with a cool liquid eraser of sorts. You know, after you heat set it, excuse me, my phone fell. You heat set your paint, and then you go back over it with blue shop towel, and you kind of saturate it, and the surface gets wet with this pre-cleaner or water or whatever, and you kind of let it sit there for a minute, and then you start rubbing on it with this with your blue shop towel, and you can take your finger, wrap it around with your finger, and start scrubbing it in small areas. And what you'll notice is that the weaker areas, you know, I'm not real technical with this stuff, but the weaker areas that did not bond to the substrate will actually lift in a really easy, light manner. It won't just wipe completely off. I mean, your overspray and stuff like that will, but the stuff that is really bonded, and you can do it over and over and over again. The first time I did it, it was a mistake, you know, and like Craig Fraser says, most custom painting techniques started out as a mistake. So everything I do it full bore. I'm 100%, so I got a really heavy hand when it comes to my techniques, and I really tear up a lot of stuff. So this was actually one of those instances where I thought that, you know, whenever I was wiping my overspray off, I actually got some of it on the, you know, on the skeleton, on the bone, on the race car hood. I did, and started wiping it, and it started making a really neat texture. You know, I blow through, I tear apart Scotch Brite, tear it apart and blow through it, and I even take old dryer sheets. Dryer sheets are awesome, but as far as the reductive technique goes, you can use erasers. You know, you can use the blending pencils. You can scratch. But the really cool thing I like to do is with the the little mixture I come up with, the liquid erasing technique, and you rub it, and it gives it, almost takes on the texture of the paint. Really tiny craters start forming, and then you can layer back over the top of it, soften it, and then redo it. And then the more layers you stack on top of each other with, reducing, spraying over that, reducing, spraying over that, taking away and adding paint back and forth, you come up with a really cool, believable texture. And I mean, it's very realistic. So I just want to talk a little bit about that, before I make my next video and actually see how this one goes and see if I don't get laughed off the internet for this. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and hopefully this will get a good response, and I'm not just some big dummy, giving a bunch of advice that nobody wants to hear. But anyway, we're going to see how this goes, and thank you very much if you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for watching it, and y'all have a good day, and keep painting.